Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm back today with some more tips and hacks to show you how to clean some of your things or how to store or care for them. We're going to start with the trimmer. I've mentioned this on other videos here and there, but not as a this is how you need to clean it. And I bet this one's even dirtier. Probably. What you don't notice when you start cutting, if you feel like you're getting jagged edges, it's fluffy on the edge. Sometimes, I would say most times, it's because you've got dirt in there. And it's really difficult to see because I keep it pretty clean. I'm trying to see. So there is some fuzz right there. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway. So I take a needle, a pin actually, and just run it down here several times. You can see there's some more fuzz right there. Oops, right there. Once you lift it up, you can usually blow it out or off your tray. But oftentimes that's all that is needed. You don't actually need another blade. You should also check your blade. Blades come out at one end. This one away. I use this to cut cardboard so it doesn't dull my normal blade. On your track, if you have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, there is one section that's a little bit fatter. That's where your blade comes out. So I also inspect my blade to see if there's a chip, to see if there's any stickiness on it, and this looks fine. So I'm putting it back in. Make sure it gets back in the tray. And that's all you have to do usually before you decide to change a blade. Now, sometimes a couple of things can happen. You can get fuzzies. Again, this is just difficult to show, but you know what I mean, where the edges is just not cut right. You can use, this is for nails. You can actually use a real nail file as long as it's a fine grit. You don't want it too bad. And I want to push it to the back of whatever it is I'm using. Just kind of run it along there and feel it. And that usually gets rid of the fuzzies that you've got there. And hopefully it's not really your blade. Sometimes also, especially with a new blade, when you're cutting, again, I'm just not going to be able to show it to you, but I know that describing it, you will know what I mean. When you run your hand over the edge, it's tilted up. Actually, it's tilted down because what happens is when you're cutting, it's pushing that little bit of paper down. To get rid of that, it's really simple. You just take your bone folder and go over the edges, and that will make it nice and smooth. Nobody will ever know I didn't do this side. And it makes it come out perfect. So keep that in mind as well. All right, next we're going to talk about, cleaning. Here is my liquid stuff in my bucket. I have all kinds of things in here. So for cleaning a glass mat, I use Perel hand sanitizer. The only bad thing about it is it's squeaky while you're cleaning it. So I'm just going to do a little bit so I don't make anybody think I've got fingers on the chalkboard. And it's almost out. Okay. When you rub it, it doesn't leave any residue. Some, depending on what you're using, some of them leave a residue or it's not noticeable on the product that you used it on. It's not squeaking today, so that's good. But I got that all nice and clean. So although I can clean with the Stampin' Mist, even my glass mat, there's a conditioner in here for your stamps, and I feel like that leaves a little bit of a film. It's not bad, but it's there. Acetone is always great for removing some things. Goo Gone will get those nasty, sticky, lumpy things that you've got. Doesn't take a lot, but it cleans it really good. This is just plain old water. keep alcohol, because alcohol will take off the gunk from your scissors. You just have to spray it. And actually, alcohol probably would work just as well on the glass mat, because I think that it's the alcohol in the hand sanitizer that actually, this one's good and stuck, here we go, that actually cleans the mat. So, but alcohol works real good. If there's a really stubborn, thick piece of it, you can always take Goo Gone to it. Goo Gone is a little bit, I don't want to say greasy. Again, it leaves a film. So what I normally do is use the Goo Gone and I follow up with alcohol. And the alcohol will get rid of any, there's a real stubborn piece right here. I'll tell ya. All right. There, got them nice and clean. They'll stop sticking. And I guess that's it for my bucket of liquids for cleaning most things. Now we briefly, oops, this doesn't go in here. We briefly mentioned Stampin' Mist, which is Stampin' Up's cleaner. Where's the big bottle? Uh-oh. Oh, I put it in here. I shouldn't have. Stampin' Mist, it comes in 8 ounces. They used to come in smaller bottles, and so all I did was fill it up and put a little wrapper on it. This is Cherry Cobbler DSP from probably about 5 years ago. So I keep it wrapped. But here's what it comes in, 8 ounces. So it'll last you for a really long time. You can also use baby wipes. Be sure you use the alcohol-free ones if you're using them to clean your stamps. They do clean the stamp well as the Stampin' Mist. Sometimes when this dries out, I use it anyway with the Stampin' Mist because it doesn't leave behind fuzz. Now, it does not clean StazOn, and I can show you. I don't use StazOn very often. You're supposed to use it when you're watercoloring. I don't watercolor to the intensity of water that causes the black that I use, the Memento, to smear. So I just don't mess with it because it does require additional cleaning. So let me see. We're going to go ahead and we'll stamp that. And I really need to ink it because I don't use it very often. Anyway, the point is, so there's a stamp. And then I'm going to use the regular cleaner. And you're going to see that it doesn't come off. And when you use the stamp cleaner that comes with, or that you need to use when you use StazOn, it's Clear Stamp Cleaner. This is a Ranger product. I don't know that we even sell it anymore. It's got a roll-on, but it's really the only thing that will take off StazOn. But here's the thing, if you're doing it on photopolymer stamps like this, instead of the cling rubber, you need to use another cleaner afterwards because it will eventually, not once or twice if you use it, but eventually it'll eat the photopolymer. It's not good for it. So there's that. Now I got it all over the place. Okay, put that out of the way. I really don't use that StazOn. I can't even remember the last time I've used it. Again, it's, primarily for watercoloring, if you do a lot of that. Okay, how do I store my plates in my stamp cut and emboss? I know that people have problems with, and mine are not doing it, because I store them a certain way. These are some really old ones that I got rid of. I had so many pieces of cardstock in it, it was beginning to cause a problem on my cutouts. But if you can see this, they're bowed. They're bowed in 2 different directions, this way and then this way. When you have that, when your plates do that, go ahead and put them so that you have a hole in the middle. The bow is showing. Put it back in your machine. I roll it to the middle. You see it's lifting up because it is bowed. I put it back in the middle, and that really does make the bow, it's not going to completely get rid of it, but it gets rid of it enough so that they're very usable. The only reason I don't use these really old plates, again, is because I've got cardstock. I'd have to like scrub the plates to get the cardstock out of the cracks. So I just don't bother. But you know, my other plates, I've used these quite a bit today. You don't want the bows together. You want them opposite. There you go. So there's just a tiny bit of a bow there. So I will store them like this, and they will straighten themselves out pretty much completely. Not straight, but pretty much. You can get these on the internet somewhere, but I made them myself. I make a lot of my hacks. I had an old Stampin' Up! Cleaner, so I cut some out. I put them on these D-blocks you get with your kits. Just glued them together. And then these balls, I think they come 4 for $2 or something at Michael's, and glued them on. I marked them wet and dry so that the only time I use these is when I'm using a stamp positioner. Let me pull that out real quick because I don't want to, I can't get it clean by using my regular cleaner. So this way I can spray this one, that's why I mark it wet, and go ahead and clean the stamp. Say I want to change colors. And that way I don't have to reposition it because I've left it in there. Another thing people use, and they pay anywhere from $12 to $30, if you want a real pretty one, is when you are using a stamp positioner, if you have arthritis or if you're doing a lot of them and your arm is getting tired with all the pressing, you can use something that's square like this. This is just a block of wood. Again, same set. There was 4 of them. I put felt on it, cut up the sides, and I can use this to press down the stamp if I'm getting tired, if my body is getting tired. And then go to my website, stampmesilly.com, and go to the free cards and templates. And in there I have a lot of resources. I have templates for card bases and easels, and that's where you can find the different size layers and size envelopes. There's all kinds of resources there. So go ahead to stampmesilly.com, click on the free stuff or free templates and more or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says, but click on that, and then I have a whole list of different things that you can pick up for free. Thanks for stopping by. I hope some of these suggestions or hints were helpful. Please comment down below. Consider subscribing. I only post once a week unless there's a flash sale, and then I'll post an additional time. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.